Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're diving into something I think you'll find really fascinating, the law of attraction.
It's pretty amazing how much attention this concept is getting.
It really is. I mean,
And
for centuries, people have been talking about this idea that, like, we're not just, pawns of fate, but that we actually have this power to draw experiences to ourselves based on what we focus on.
it's really a shift from feeling powerless to, well, empowered.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And you know what's so cool about this deep dive is that we're looking at all sorts of different perspectives on this, right? We've got scientists, psychologists, and even people who have actually used these principles to achieve some pretty incredible things.
What I find really interesting is how this concept, which has been around for so long, whispered about in ancient traditions, is now actually being explored and validated by modern science. We're seeing that there's a real connection between our thoughts, our emotions, and our beliefs, and how those things actually affect our energy, like physically affect our energy, and then how that energy interacts with the world around us.
Okay, so let's break this down a little bit.
Yeah.
So the core idea here with the law of attraction is that like attracts like. Right.
Right.
So basically what that means is that if you're constantly thinking about, say, bad things happening, then you're more likely to experience them.
Exactly. It's like tuning your radio, right?
Right.
If you're tuned into a station that's all about fear and lack, well, guess what? You're going to hear a whole lot of fear and lack. But if you shift that dial, tune into a station of abundance and positivity, then you're going to start picking up those signals instead.
Oh, I like that, the radio analogy.
Yeah.
So following me with that, if someone is, let's say they're constantly worried about money, are they actually attracting more financial problems into their life? I mean, that's kind of a scary thought, isn't it?
It can be a little scary at first, but it's also incredibly empowering when you realize that you have the ability to change your reality. By changing your thoughts and feelings, you know you're not just a victim of circumstance, but you're a powerful creator. You can change the channel you're tuned to.
Okay, I love that. I love that. But how does this actually work in practice? I know the material we're looking at mentions this three-step formula for using the law of attraction, but
Yeah.
but before we even get into that, like, can we just talk for a second about how our thoughts, our actual thoughts, like, impact our energy? Is there like a scientific basis for this? I mean, is this real?
There is, absolutely. I mean, quantum physics is really starting to reveal just how much our thoughts and emotions and beliefs can impact the physical world, like down to the subatomic level. We are all made up of energy, right? And that energy vibrates at different frequencies depending on our mental and emotional state. It's like our energy is responding to what we're thinking and feeling.
So it's not just some like woo-woo new agey concept.
Not at all. There's a growing body of research that's really suggesting that our thoughts and feelings have a measurable impact on our reality. I mean, there are even studies cited in this material where people have used their minds to influence like the growth of plants or even change the molecular structure of water.
Really? I mean, that's incredible. That's wild. So basically what you're saying is that we're like walking magnets attracting experiences that match our dominant like vibration.
Precisely. And the more we understand this principle, the more we can start to consciously use it to create the lives we want.
Okay. Okay. All right. So I definitely want to learn more about how to do that. So let's dive into that three-step formula that you mentioned earlier. So what is the first step? Like, where do we begin with this?
Well, the first step is what the material calls ask. It's really all about getting clear, crystal clear about what it is that you want to experience in your life. And I mean really specific. Don't be afraid to dream big here. Write it down, create a vision board, do whatever it is that helps you clarify, and solidify your desires.
Okay, so step one is ask. And it's kind of like placing your order with the universe.
Yeah.
So what's next? What's step two?
Step 2 is where things get really interesting. Step 2 is all about believing. Believing that what you've asked for is already on its way to you. It's about cultivating this deep inner knowing that your desires are already yours, even before you see them manifest in the physical world.
Wait, so you're saying you have to kind of trick your mind into thinking that you already have what you want? Isn't that a big delusional?
Well, it might seem that way at first, but remember, we're dealing with energy here. When you genuinely believe something to be true, you start to emit a vibration that's in alignment with that reality. So you're essentially telling the universe, hey, I'm ready for this. I'm open to receiving this.
Oh, so it's like you're putting out the welcome mat for your desires to arrive.
Exactly. And that brings us to the third and final step, which is to receive. This is where you open yourself up to receiving the good that is flowing into your life. It's about feeling the joy, the gratitude, the excitement of having your desires fulfilled even before they manifest in the physical world.
So it's not just about thinking it, but actually feeling it as if it's already happened.
Precisely. It's about embodying the vibration of what you want to attract, and that's when the magic really starts to happen.
Okay, so we ask, we believe, and we receive.
Mhm.
Seems simple enough, right? But I'm guessing it's not always that easy in practice, is it?
You're absolutely right. There are a lot of nuances and potential pitfalls when it comes to using the law of attraction effectively. But don't worry, we'll dive into all of those in more detail a little bit later on. For now, just start playing around with these 3 steps and see what happens. You might be surprised.
I'm definitely intrigued, I have to say. I'm intrigued. Before we move on, though, is there anything else that we should know about this whole, like, vibrating at a certain frequency thing? I mean, like, how do we even know what frequency we're on?
Well, that's a good question. And here's the thing. Your feelings are the most powerful indicators of your current frequency. So if you're feeling happy and joyful and grateful, you're emitting a high vibration that's likely to attract more positive experiences. But on the flip side, if you're feeling stressed or anxious or resentful, you're emitting a lower vibration, which will likely attract more of the same.
So basically what you're saying is that our feelings are like a compass. They're kind of guiding us towards the experiences that we want to create or maybe don't want to create.
Exactly. They're like a built-in feedback mechanism that's constantly telling you whether or not you're on the right track, vibrationally speaking. The more you pay attention to your feelings, the more you can consciously steer your life in the direction that you want to go.
That's really interesting. That's such a powerful insight. So okay, we've covered the kind of the basics of the law of attraction. We've talked about the 3-step formula, the ask, believe, receive, and we've talked about the importance of our thoughts and feelings. What else is there to learn about this fascinating concept? I mean, what else should we be diving into here?
Well, there are a couple of powerful practices that can really amplify your ability to manifest your desires, which we can talk about. Things like visualization and gratitude. But before we get into those, I'm curious to know, like, what's resonating with you so far? What's standing out to you the most about this whole idea of the law of attraction?
Well, if I'm being totally honest,
Yeah.
part of me is a little skeptical,
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to wrap my head around the idea that I could actually shape my reality with my thoughts.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I have to admit, I'm really intrigued by this whole concept. Like the idea that I could actually have that much control over my life
Mm.
it's exciting, but it's also a little terrifying, you know. But I guess before I go down that rabbit hole, maybe you could tell me a little bit more about those practices that you mentioned, like visualization and gratitude.
Absolutely. Let's start with visualization. So visualization is basically like creating a movie in your mind, and in this movie, you're the star, living the life that you desire. It's about using all your senses, sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, to really make it as real and as vivid as possible in your mind.
Oh, so like if I wanted to manifest a new car, I should imagine myself actually driving it, feeling the leather seats, smelling that new car smell,
Yeah.
hearing the engine roar.
Exactly. The more details that you can add, the more you're kind of like imprinting that desire onto your subconscious mind, and the stronger the signal that you're sending out to the universe.
I've heard about athletes using visualization to improve their performance. Is that kind of the same concept here?
It absolutely is, yeah. Olympic athletes, they use visualization to mentally rehearse their routines, picturing themselves, winning the gold medal.
Yeah.
And the amazing thing is that it actually works. There's tons of evidence showing that mental practice can be just as effective as physical practice when it comes to improving performance.
Wow, that's pretty convincing. Okay, so we've talked about visualization. What about gratitude? How does gratitude fit into all of this?
Gratitude it's a really powerful tool for shifting your energy from a state of lack to a state of abundance.
Yeah.
When you focus on what you're grateful for, you're essentially acknowledging the good that's already present in your life, and you're opening yourself up to receive even more.
So instead of like dwelling on what I don't have, I should focus on what I'm already blessed with, the things that I already have in my life that I'm thankful for.
Precisely. It's about appreciating, the little things, like a warm cup of coffee, a sunny day, the love of your family and friends. The more you practice gratitude, the more you train your mind to see the abundance that already surrounds you, and the more you attract even more things to be grateful for.
Yeah, yeah. It's like that saying, "What you focus on expands." But how does gratitude actually impact the law of attraction? I mean, does it just make you feel better, or is there something deeper going on here?
Well, gratitude actually raises your vibration, which makes you a magnet for more positive experiences. So when you're feeling thankful, you're emitting this frequency of abundance, and that frequency attracts more abundance into your life.
So it's not just about thinking positive thoughts. It's about cultivating like positive feeling.
Exactly. Feelings are the key. They're the fuel that powers the law of attraction.
Okay, this is all starting to make a lot of sense. But I have to admit, I'm still struggling a little bit with this idea that I can manifest like anything I want just by thinking about it.
Yeah.
What about hard work and taking action? Don't those things matter?
Of course, action is important. But here's the thing: the law of attraction isn't about just sitting on your couch and wishing for things to magically appear. It's about aligning your energy with what you want to create, and that includes taking inspired action.
Inspired action. What do you mean by that?
So inspired action is action that feels aligned with your desires. It's action that feels good and flows effortlessly. When you're in alignment with your desires, you'll naturally be drawn to take actions that support their manifestation. It's like the universe is conspiring with you to make things happen.
So it's not about forcing things to
Yeah.
happen, but rather allowing them to unfold naturally.
Exactly. It's about trusting the process, knowing that the universe is working behind the scenes to bring your desires to fruition.
Okay. So we need to take action, but it needs to be inspired action, action that feels good and aligned with our desires.
Oh.
Got it.
But what about those times, when we're feeling stuck or when things just don't seem to be working out despite our best efforts? Does that mean that the law of attraction isn't working?
Not necessarily, no. Sometimes there are deeper blocks or limiting beliefs that are preventing us from manifesting what we want.
Blocks. Like what kind of blocks? Well, it could be a subconscious belief that we're not worthy of receiving what we desire, or it could be a fear of success or even failure.
Yeah.
Or maybe we're holding on to past hurts or traumas that are keeping us stuck in a negative vibration.
Oh, okay. So how do we identify and overcome these blocks?
That's where self-awareness comes in. We need to become aware of our thoughts and our feelings and our beliefs and identify any patterns that might be sabotaging our efforts.
So like if I'm constantly attracting the same like negative experiences,
Yeah.
that's a sign that I need to dig a little deeper and figure out what's going on beneath the surface.
Exactly. It's like peeling back the layers of an onion,
Yeah.
revealing the hidden beliefs and patterns that are shaping our reality. And once we become aware of those blocks, then we can start to release them
Yeah.
and create space for new, more empowering beliefs to take root.
This is also fascinating. It's like we're not just learning about the law of attraction, but we're learning about ourselves in the process.
Absolutely. The law of attraction it's a powerful tool for self-discovery and personal growth. It challenges us to take responsibility for our lives, to examine our beliefs and to become conscious creators of our own reality.
This deep dive has really been mind-blowing. I'm starting to see how the law of attraction can really be applied to so many different aspects of life. It's not about wishful thinking. It's about aligning our energy with what we want to create and taking, inspired action.
It's about understanding that we're powerful creators, constantly shaping our reality with our thoughts and our feelings and our beliefs.
Yeah.
And the law of attraction simply provides us with a framework for doing that consciously and intentionally.
Yeah, yeah. I love it. Okay, well, this has definitely given me a lot to think about. It's empowering to know that we actually have more control over our lives than we often realize.
And remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So what will you choose to focus on today? What seeds of possibility will you plant in the garden of your mind?
That's a great question for all of us to ponder. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the law of attraction. We hope it's inspired you to explore the incredible power that resides within you and to consciously create a life that reflects your highest vision. Okay, so we've talked about, this power of our thoughts and feelings and how they can actually like impact our reality. I'm kind of curious now, like how does this play out in different areas of life? Like let's say, finances, relationships, or even our health.
Well, let's start with finances, since that seems to be, on a lot of people's minds. A lot of the material we've looked at really emphasizes an idea that if you're constantly worrying about money, you're likely attracting more financial stress into your life.
Right. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, logically. But how do you actually shift from that, from feeling like, scarcity to feeling abundance? I mean, it's easy to say, think positive, but it's a lot harder to actually like do that, isn't it?
Oh, you're absolutely right. It definitely takes practice. One thing that a lot of the experts suggest is to try to focus on the feeling of financial freedom. So instead of dwelling on, debt or lack, imagine having more than enough money to cover all of your expenses, enjoy the things that you love, and even give generously to others, to causes that you care about.
Oh, okay. So like instead of, sitting there stressing over bills, I should be visualizing like, that dream vacation that I want to take, or finally being able to, support that charity that I'm really passionate about.
Exactly. It's about feeling those emotions, as if it's already happening. Some people even find it helpful to like visualize checks arriving in the mail, or seeing like a growing balance in their bank account.
Interesting. Okay, so focus on the positive feelings associated with financial abundance.
Yeah.
Got it. What about relationships? Can you really manifest your soulmate just by, thinking about them?
Well, that's actually a common misconception about the law of attraction. It's not about, conjuring a specific person. It's more about becoming the type of person who attracts the love that you desire.
Oh, okay. So like if I want a partner who is, kind and supportive and adventurous, I need to embody those qualities myself. Is that what you're saying?
Precisely. It's about aligning your energy with the type of relationship that you want to create. So focus on cultivating self-love, respect, and those qualities that you'd admire in a partner.
I remember reading about one expert who was talking about, acting as if your ideal partner was already in your life, like even like clearing space in the closet for their belongings, that kind of thing. Like, does that really work?
Well, it's about aligning your actions with your desires. When you act as if it's already happening, you're sending a powerful message to the universe and to yourself that you're ready to receive it.
Okay, so it's like you're creating space in your life, both physically and mentally, for that relationship to actually manifest.
Okay, well, last but not least, let's talk about health. Can the law of attraction actually help with healing?
Well, there are some truly remarkable stories in the material that we've reviewed about people overcoming serious illnesses by shifting their thoughts and beliefs about their bodies. It's not about denying reality, but it's about focusing on the positive aspects of healing and well-being.
I remember reading about this woman who used laughter and humor to help her heal from cancer.
Yeah.
That was pretty incredible. It is, yeah, and it's a powerful example of how our thoughts can really impact our physical well-being. I mean, the mind-body connection is a real thing. And it's important to note here that the material doesn't advocate abandoning traditional medicine, but it really emphasizes the importance of taking responsibility for our health and recognizing the power of our thoughts, in the healing process.
So it's about working in harmony with medical professionals while also, harnessing the power of our own minds.
Exactly. It's about embracing a holistic approach to health, recognizing that our thoughts and our beliefs and our emotions play a vital role in our overall well-being.
Wow. This deep dive has been incredibly insightful. I have to say, I'm starting to see how the law of attraction can really be applied to so many different areas of life. And it's not about wishful thinking. It's about aligning our energy with what we want to create and taking inspired action, right?
Yeah, that's it. It's about understanding that we are powerful creators, constantly shaping our reality with our thoughts and our feelings and our beliefs. And the law of attraction simply provides a framework for doing that consciously and intentionally.
I love that. And I love this deep dive. Thank you so much for sharing your insights with me. This has been amazing. And to all of our listeners out there, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the law of attraction. We hope that it's inspired you to explore the incredible power that resides within you and to start consciously creating a life that reflects your highest vision.